Hello students. So in this video we are going to study the comparisons of the gymnosperms and angiosperms. First of all, you know very well that the main body of both is 2n. Main body of gymnosperm is also 2n. Even angiosperm main body is also 2n. And they both are heterosporous. Okay. So they are producing microspore and megaspore. Both will produce it. But where will they produce? They will be producing in cones because gymnosperms have cones, but angiosperm will be producing in flower. Understood? So basic difference now we have to start. So we are starting with the first male part. So here we will say कि microsporophyll, we will use word microsporophyll, but in case of the flower we will say stamen. Angiosperms, we will say they are stamens. So these are your analogies. Okay, beta? And we will say microsporophyll has microsporangia. But in angiosperms, we will say कि angiosperms stamen has pollen sac. The pollen sac is also known as microsporangia. Clear? We will say microsporangia produces microspore. And here we will say pollen sac produces pollen grain. The pollen grain is nothing microspore in the angiosperms. But this pollen grain term we use in the gymnosperm also. We use this term in the gymnosperm also. Is it clear? We will say microspore develop into male gametophyte. And here we will say pollen grain is maturing. Pollen grain develops to form male gametophyte, which is again we call the term as pollen grain only, which is male gametophyte. Clear beta? We call it as male gametophyte. Now male gametophyte has male gametes. We will say it is having male gametes, but gymnosperm is having only one male gamete. Gymnosperm will have only one male gamete. But angiosperms will have two male gamete. Because if you remember, angiosperms has to do double fertilization. It will have two male gametes. Is it clear? So pollen grain is the term which we use both side in the gymnosperm and as well as angiosperms, but remaining terms are different. The same way we will be saying for the megasporophyll also. Now see here in gymnosperm we will say megasporophyll. Okay, but in angiosperm we will say carpel. And carpel, you know, it is having three parts. It is having ovary, style and stigma. Okay, it will be ovary, style and stigma. So megasporophyll is nothing carpel only, but here we will be saying it is making ovary, style, stigma. And now we will say megasporophyll has megasporangia. And we will say here carpel has means ovary has ovule. So here also we will use word in gymnosperm also we will use word ovule. But now see the diagram difference. See, this is the megasporophyll, okay? And if you see the ovule here, you're finding ovule is born this way. This is the stalk of the ovule known as funicle. These are the integument we have already studied in the gymnosperms, okay, which are enclosing the mass of the nucellus. This is the way the mass of nucellus is there. And this ovule is known as orthotropous ovule. This ovule is known as orthotropous ovule. The gymnosperms has orthotropous ovule. Clear beta? Now if you see here in this diagram, this is your ovary, style and stigma. Clear? And inside this you will be finding, see carefully, this is your ovule, stalk, and this is rotation this way. This is the way it is rotated at 180 degree, okay? 180 degree, why we are saying? Because right now if you see, micropyle and chaliazal are in one line, but funical rotation they are showing at 180 degree, and such ovule is known as anatropous ovule. The anatropous ovule is a feature of the majority of angiosperms. Nearly 82% of the angiosperms will have anatropous ovule, but gymnosperms will have only orthotropous ovule. Please focus the difference, okay? Only with respect to the position of the micropyle, chaliazal and funicle. Here what we are finding, this is micropyle, this is chaliazal and funicle, they all are in one line. Okay, beta, this is orthotropous ovule. But here if you see, micropyle is here, chaliza is here, and funicle is at 90 degree to this. So this is anatropous ovule, means rotation of 180 degree. Is it clear? Let me just show you. Now see class, try to understand. This is your micropyle, this is your chaliza, and this is funicle. Okay, right now if you see, all are in one line. This is your orthotropous ovule. Now I'm rotating this ovule at 90 degree. Okay, so micropyle and chaliazal are in one line and funicle is at 90 degree with the micropyle chaliazal. This is hemi-anatropous ovule, means half ana. Okay, hemi-anatropous ovule. Now if suppose I rotate it this way, so I think so I'm trying to make an angle of 180 degree. Micropyle is near to the funicle and chaliazal this way. I hope you are able to understand my diagram. Is it clear? So this is orthotropous ovule, this is hemi-anatropous ovule, and this is anatropous ovule. The majority of the angiosperms are having anatropous ovule. Is it clear? So I hope up till here topic is clear. Then megasporangia will make megaspore by the process of meiosis. We have already studied in previous video. This will also make megaspore, and megaspore will develop into female gametophyte. Female gametophyte, and here also development will be a female gametophyte. But now we have to remember what difference we have to speak. This is only very important line. We will say here female gametophyte is endosperm, but here we will say female gametophyte is embryo sac. Clear beta? Female gametophyte is embryo sac. And if you know, you have already studied in the small classes, what is the structure of the embryo sac? This is embryo sac, which is having 3 cells at the micropyle end. Okay, this is your egg cell, middle one is egg cell. With these two are the synergid cells which are having filiform apparatus. So total 2 synergid cells. Egg cell is 1, synergid cell are 2 in number. 3 cells at the chaliazal end are known as antipodals. So antipodals are total 3 in number. And this is one central cell which is having 2 polar nuclei. This is one central cell which is having these 2 are polar nuclei. Let me write it here. So 2 polar nuclei. This is the embryo sac present in the angiosperms. But in case of the gymnosperms, the female gametophyte is known as endosperm, and we will find that endosperm has archegonia. Okay, but here if you see, embryo sac has, let me write it, embryo sac has egg apparatus. Now where is egg apparatus? See, all these 3 cells together, check this, these 3 cells together, they are known as egg apparatus. So let me write this archegonia at the same level so that it becomes easy for you to learn it. We say female gametophyte as archegonia, and archegonia will have egg. Has egg. Just like we say here, egg apparatus has egg. Is it clear? Understood up till here? Now we will see the pollination and then fertilization. Sperm pollination is direct. Pollination is direct, but here it is indirect. Okay, it is indirect. Why? Because here, if you know, if this is a megasporophyll, okay, and this is your ovule. So pollen grain can come and directly land on here. Directly it can land here. But in this case, in case of angiosperms, we are having ovary, style and stigma, means ovule is covered from all the side. And this is the ovule which is present. The pollen grain cannot come directly, it has to land only on stigma. So we will say gymnosperm shows direct pollination, but angiosperm shows indirect pollination. Agents, what they are using, gymnosperms have started using air, and angiosperms agents are both biotic agent as well as abiotic agent. They use every agent. Is it clear? Now after pollination, then will be fertilization. In fertilization, what will happen here? One male gamete is only there. So this one male gamete will fuse with one egg cell and form zygote. And they will make zygote, and zygote will develop into embryo. But here in case of angiosperms, we know there are two male gametes. So one male gamete will fuse with the egg cell to form zygote, and this process is known as syngamy. This process is known as syngamy because two nucleus are fusing. Then another male gamete fuse with two polar nuclei. Remember, we have drawn two polar nuclei. It fuses with two polar nuclei to form primary endosperm nucleus. And here three nucleus are fusing, so we say triple fusion. Triple fusion. So angiosperms are unique in what way? They show double fertilization. They show double fertilization. This is uniqueness of angiosperms. Two fertilization they are showing it, and one is developing into the embryo, another will develop into the endosperm. Is it clear? Because PEN will develop into endosperm. Now, question can come in the mind ki in gymnosperm also we use this word endosperm, and in angiosperm also we are using the word endosperm. So let me explain you the difference in between the gymnosperm and angiosperm with respect to endosperm. See, endosperm is the nutritive tissue which is we have studied in the gymnosperm also, and we have studied this in the angiosperm also. And if you know very well, in gymnosperm it is a term used for the female gametophyte. So female gametophyte means haploid nature. The ploidy is haploid in case of the gymnosperm. But in angiosperm, if you know, it is a product of the triple fusion. So here the ploidy level will be 3n. So I think so first of all, difference with respect to ploidy is clear. In gymnosperm it is haploid, but in angiosperm it is triploid. Then it is made before fertilization. It is pre-fertilization product. And this is post-fertilization product. Post-fertilization product. Is it clear? So I hope this topic will help you to understand the concept very easily. And if anyone is having doubt, then you can message me. I will try to make a video for that particular topic so that your concept becomes very strong. Thanks for watching.